Yo, what's going on, everybody? You know who it is.
Ah,
It's your boy.
yeah.
Yo, what's good, yo? It's Sean Tama here for another episode of Hero Mode Podcast. I got my brothers with me. We got Go Beyond, Mr. Galen himself. I'm taking the reins on this one because it's our anime episode, and we got the great Ape James right
Got
here.
Pinhead Larry, apparently. What the freak? This blur thing is crazy.
Yo,
Never again.
my man Rusty got in the back
Yeah.
and yo,
I'm Dirty Dan.
this episode is gonna be wild.
Look at the head,
we got
yo.
a special guest. We got a special guest, Mr. Williams himself. You can see him repping Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. It's
Hello.
Mr. Michael. What's going on?
I put out my whole government out there. What's going
That-
on, y'all? He said,
Hey,
Mr.
listen.
Williams Michael.
Listen, you know, your government gonna have to be out there once you start getting the money from the podcast. All the anime podcasters gonna want to see you. So
Hey, I'll look for the check in the mailbox.
yeah, I
Keep
got you.
booking. Keep booking.
It's coming in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, the check gonna be here. We pay by week.
Fence.
Nothing pays.
Yo, so everybody, we know the great Akira Toriyama passed away, so moment of silence for him. Yep. Mr. Akira Toriyama passed away. He left us with Dragon Ball Z, and he even worked on Dragon Ball Super a little bit, and also the manga. He gave an input on certain things, and he inspired the generations to come for shonen, for anime in general. There was nothing like shonen anime before Dragon Ball Z, and everything here and in between has been inspired by Dragon Ball Z. Even comics, even any transformation on cartoons. So we're getting together to kind of, you know, reminisce and be appreciative of what he left us, so that way we can look forward to all of the new ventures to come and everything going on with Dragon Ball Z that's happening. So, I mean, Mike here, he is a Dragon Ball Z fan, and I know for a fact that we've had arguments back and forth on like Dragon Ball Z, who wins, who doesn't, like who's stronger or anything else. So like maybe just open it up to Mike, like kind of what do you remember the first time you watched Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
That's a good question, bro. I think it started with the OG Dragon Ball during like the martial arts tournament.
Oh yeah,
when Goku fought Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
It was hilarious with the drunken monkey, and not the drunken monkey, the monkey fist, and the what does Master Roshi do with the drunken fist or drunk boxing?
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
because he's basically trying to play off like Jackie Chan and the Drunken Master.
That's the first memory that comes to mind. Yeah,
That's dope. Yeah, so I think Dragon Ball, a lot of people like don't even know exists sometimes.
Yeah,
and then you ask
that's true.
Yeah, you'll
That's
you'll
true.
watch it and people be like, "Oh man, I don't even know what Dragon Ball is," and they don't realize that there's a whole backstory of Goku and what happened. So, do you remember, like, after you saw that when it was the first thing with the tournament? Do you ever remember of like going back and saying, "Hey, listen, I really want to watch this from the beginning"?
now you know back in the day, like you couldn't like say I'm. You couldn't say I'm watching from the beginning. You watch whatever came on TV
Yes.
on Toonami. So I kind of just watched it as it unfolded. So yeah, I don't know
That's
how
true.
long it took me, but as I got older, yeah, I was able to start from the beginning and end at the Tournament of Power, or I guess Dragon Ball Super Broly. That's the
Yeah.
latest. No, Cell Max is the latest one, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's like when we're thinking about anime as a whole, you think, okay, what's the OG, like the godfather of shonen? And we know that the big three was One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. So back in the day when those came out, it was like those were heavily inspired by Dragon Ball Z, because you got, again, the blonde haired character with the orange jumpsuit is Naruto. You got Luffy,
I didn't even think
who
about that.
likes to
I
eat
think
a
about
lot.
that.
I
You know what I
didn't think
mean?
about that.
You got Luffy, who loves to eat. and he gorges himself, and you got the
Mhm.
power of friendship and the transformations, gear second, gear third, and then you got Bleach with the training arcs and like the transformations and all the like naming your moves and things like that.
Mhm.
All of the mangaka who created them, they all were so heavily hurt by Akira Toriyama's death, and Oda Sensei was close with Akira Toriyama, and so was the creator of Naruto, Kishimoto.
Mhm.
So they, they all were as inspired by him to create theirs. And that's like when you ask anybody, like, hey, you know Naruto, like sometimes they're like, oh no, I haven't seen it, but this new generation, don't give no respect to none. But
Mhm.
they'd be like, oh, I know Naruto, or like, hey, I know Bleach, or oh yeah, I love One Piece because One Piece has been around since some of us have been alive. So, I mean, it's so heavily inspired. Do you think that it inspired you in any way in your life, like Dragon Ball Z?
It's for all. This for all of
Yeah,
us, or
anybody. Like, did you think like because okay, for me, right? We know I like fitness. We
Mhm.
train. Austin, Mike, and myself. We'll work out and whatnot. But even
Mhm.
with that being said,
Mhm.
and even Galen, when we saw you, that picture we took when we were at the gym
Oh
years ago,
yeah,
I think
at
you were
Edge.
wearing a
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z shirt.
Mhm.
Like I'm
Mhm.
trying to pull up the picture.
Mhm.
If I can even remember when we used to train at the Hamden,
Yep, Hamden,
that's what I'm saying.
Right by Austin's old place. Yeah.
So it's like even then we had
Mhm.
Dragon Ball Z motivates so many people just in
Mhm.
like wearing the clothes or
Mhm.
like thinking about, oh, these guys like train. You'll put on the
Yeah.
music and hear, Super Saiyan 3 theme or anything. Like, do you guys think it inspired you in any way or like Goku
Yeah.
characters?
So like my first intro was on UPN 9 for with the original Dragon Ball at my grandparents' house
dang, that's a
and everything.
throwback.
Yeah, it's because it just shows how old I am, but and everything. But yeah, and then I wanted to be I thought if I just they do a bunch of kicks would be strong like Goku or something like that. Then I get minked up by my big cousin and everything. Like, nah, not not like that at all. But yeah, no, for real. Then yeah, like you said, when I started lifting, um, I think I went to the local Hot Topic to find like a Dragon Ball shirt or something like that.
I used to
Um,
live there.
yeah, right,
Nice.
and everything. But no,
Hot topic.
I think it did. But at least back then, you weren't allowed to talk about it and everything because you were a heathen, or and everything. But yeah, everyone watched anime. They were just quiet about it. At least back in my
Yeah,
generation and everything. So, and if you came out with it, it's like Fight Club. You just don't
yeah,
talk. You just don't talk about it.
yeah. Don't talk
Let's
about what
talk
it
about
is. Y'all remember those button up shirts? I don't know if you ever seen kids with them. It's like they have the button up short tee. It's not a short t-shirt. It's a button up like a basic shirt, but it's a short sleeve, and it had like the whole character on it. So it'd be like Goku, but it's like huge. I think you got them at like Hot Topic, but I remember kids would be wearing that in school. Like I even had one, and like you'd be like cursed out when you were in school, like, yo, what's
Mhm.
this nerd doing? He's got this thing on. Like, look at him, he's a loser. Like, and at that point, people were didn't want to say they like Dragon Ball Z, but
Just anime in general.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
on anime
yeah.
in general. But like, if you were in the hood
the hood.
or you knew anybody else, they
Well,
love Dragon Ball Z because I remember like when I lived in Bridgeport and I would go to school, all the kids love Dragon Ball Z. Like they didn't care. You could be a bully, you could be kind, you could be a nerd. Like you knew Dragon Ball Z was dope. Then I moved to Fairfield and went to school, and they were like, "What? Even Ezra? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
there might have been some racism behind that. I mean, it's
no,
true.
it's true. It's true.
Might have been more than anime.
Yeah,
Why does he look like the great ape? All right, come on, yo,
yeah, just a little bit. And he
No,
perked
I
up light
introduced
skin.
him. Yeah, I introduced him to Frieza, and it was like, I kind of could get behind that guy at that point.
yo, you know
So,
what? I mean,
So
so
what?
he might have been onto something.
Calling everybody monkeys.
Yeah,
facts. That's what I'm
cool
saying,
stuff.
yo.
What
But
was your early?
yeah.
Like,
No,
can
no,
I
go
ask
ahead.
questions? I was gonna ask also what was his early memory of Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, my dad actually had put me on to Dragon Ball Z, which I think
Gotcha.
was probably like the first ever anime I had seen. But same thing, it was on Toonami.
Yeah.
Back when
Yeah.
I first started like catching on to Cartoon Network, and then you got Toonami, and then I remember my dad. I think he was either showing me It's trippy. I don't remember if he was showing me Nappa at the time, so like the early saga, or a little bit later on with the Ginyu Force. It was one of those two. But he was always big into bodybuilding.
Mm.
So his whole thing was these big muscle guys fighting each other and sending each other to different dimensions and fighting that way. That was his thing. So I was like, I kind of caught on to it. But see, I've never seen the entirety of the Dragon Ball Z series. I haven't seen every single episode. Definitely haven't.
Mm.
But I specifically remember obviously Cell Saga and freaking the Frieza Saga. I remember all that stuff. But the Majin Buu Saga was like, I feel like the biggest thing anime wise for me at the time. Because I'd see the commercials on all the time when Toonami was doing their commercials for like the whole like series.
Yeah.
So I'd see Majin Buu left and right, and then I was getting into my whole like making my own manga type phase and
Yeah.
school. So like I had a billion books I was making, and then I was in Tokyo Pop, and Kyle was putting me on to Kingdom Hearts and stuff. So like it all just kind of all that like interest into all like the Japanese type stuff and everything really sprung from Dragon Ball Z.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
I
Yeah.
really think I really think that's what starts a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's your gateway
Same.
into anime? And it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z.
100%.
Because people at
100%.
the time didn't even know that Dragon Ball Z was anime. Like when I was a kid, I remember watching Dragon Ball, and I'm just like, oh, yo, this is dope. And
Right.
then I was like, this is amazing. You know, people would talk about Dragon Ball Z, watch it, and then when remember Toonami when they first released the dub of Naruto, like when it first premiered on Cartoon Network, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh, what's this? This doesn't look like any cartoons that I know. And I didn't put two and two together that it's like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and those things are anime, or even like Rurouni Kenshin or Cyborg 009, like all these different ones on Toonami. I didn't think that they were like anime. I'm just like, yo, this is really cool.
Right.
But it was always Dragon Ball Z at first, and people would tune into that and watch it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we all in some way were appreciative of Dragon Ball Z for leading us into what we like. And
Yeah, facts. True story. True
yeah,
story.
so I think we can get into some more like nitty gritty stuff. Is
Yo,
Goku a bad father?
yes,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I
Oh my God.
Absolutely
let's
not.
let's let's
But
talk let's
but
talk about it.
but wait a minute, I'm a father, so I would know he's a terrible father.
He's a pretty bad dad. I
All
mean, he's
right,
dope.
let me hear why y'all say he's a bad dad.
What makes him good? I want to actually hear what makes him good.
All right, let's go. Let's
You're the
go around.
guest, Mike. You go first.
Truth.
I don't deem him a bad father because of how he was raised.
That's true.
He didn't have an example of what a father was besides his grandpa that raised him. This man came crashing down from a spaceship, hit his head, lost his memory.
Typical.
His Spain heritage, you see how they were raised over there. They were raised in they were raised to be warriors. And
Yeah,
I just watched the movie and they had him in the little child rearing chamber in the liquid. Like, bro, that was his example of, well, he didn't remember, but that's where he came from. And then he came to Earth, killed his granddad by accident, and then pretty much raised himself.
That is
yeah.
true. Yeah, that's true. He
He was
did kill his dad back. Granddad.
growing
All
up
You
in
right.
the
don't really
hood.
talk about that too much. Like
Yeah,
People don't.
people don't
People
really know
don't.
that stuff.
yeah. He's
They don't
like,
know that crap.
They gotta watch Dragon Ball. That's why.
yeah. It's
Right.
like, yo, who It's like, yeah, a big old monster killed my granddad one day. So he told me every time there's a full moon, I can't look up. It's like, oh, you think?
It,
Right.
Yeah.
it ain't clicked to him until he fought Vegeta for the first time.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, when he saw Gohan transform, he's like, wow, nobody told me that we could transform by looking at the moon.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
killed my grandpa. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
But like, so it's funny because shout outs to Jax Blade. I'm gonna let y'all finish with your however y'all think that he's a bad father. I just want to say real quick, shout outs to Jax Blade because he mentioned this before that the anime version or the dub version of Goku is very different from the sub version of Goku. Like the
Hmm.
Japanese Goku and the dub version of Goku, like Goku in the dub English dub is like Superman.
Mhm.
Like, I'm going to save Earth. I'm gonna like the sub version, the Japanese version of Goku's like, yeah, I just want to fight. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't care
Can't stand his
But
voice.
yeah, he's like,
That's
I
pretty.
don't. He's like, I don't care what what's going to happen. Even in the dub of Dragon Ball Super, the dub changes it a little bit, and it
Hmm.
kind of edits Goku's personality a little bit. But I will say, on Mike's defense, that we think he's a bad father, but has he made dumb decisions? Sometimes, yes. But every single time Goku has been called something about being a bad father, something happened that was out of his control that he couldn't like he couldn't do. Like, oh, he left his son with Piccolo, he died. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Oh, he didn't want to get wished back with the Dragon Balls. He wanted to protect the Earth from potential enemies from being destroyed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so okay, I'm done lying. I'm done with my piece.
Wow.
I
All
mean,
right,
you feel
Galen.
like that. It's kind of hard to argue against.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to argue against. I mean,
I agree.
excuses, still excuses, but I mean, it's hard to argue against it.
No,
All's-
I'm you're right though, but like it
all
is
it's
an excuse.
in his blood is just a fight. Like that's where he comes from, and then he came to Earth with
Yeah.
nothing,
Now
with no
he's
example.
got his kids fighting. He's giving Cell a sensu beam. He's telling Gohan
It's
to
in his
buff
blood
up.
it's in his blood to want to fight.
Nah,
He's making it. I
Austin's right though. That's why I was saying like the dumb decisions. Austin's
He ain't
right.
right.
He
He ain't
really
right.
gave
Come on, Mike.
he
You're
really
lucky I got
gave
13
him
minutes, bro.
him a
Oh
sensu
man.
bean, bro. He did not have to give Cell that sensu bean after making him up.
Yeah,
He could
a human would think that way, but in his blood, he wants to fight. And he's
yeah,
like, "Oh,
but
I want
So
my
no, no.
in the Dragon Ball series, who would you consider a bad father? Is there any bad fathers in the Dragon Ball series?
Um,
not really, because they don't really show
Uh,
like,
King Vegeta,
What about King Vegeta?
oh,
I was gonna think that was
Broly's
my
father.
I
that's
was
Is
not
gonna
it
say
getting
bad
that.
fat.
father
Yeah.
or the retcon wasn't so bad?
All right, so
Hmm.
who's a better father, Goku or Piccolo?
Piccolo don't
Piccolo,
got no kids. Piccolo,
Piccolo.
I'd say Piccolo though.
He
Oh
jumped in front of
yeah,
that's
he jumped in front of two
Piccolo.
beams. He jumped in front of two beams twice on
That's
behalf of Gohan.
that's uncle activity. That's uncle activity.
Uncle
Nah.
activity. He's dying for the kid. He's getting blasted away for the kid all the time. Goku's like, yeah, son, get up, fight more, Dad.
Yeah.
Keep going, son.
All right, but here's the thing too. Would we consider Goku or
Dad.
Vegeta the better father? Who Goku or Vegeta is the better father? Because in Dragon Ball
G ain't
Z,
good father either.
yeah, but here's the thing though. In Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta's a jerk,
Hmm.
especially in the Cell games to Trunks.
Hmm.
But in Dragon Ball Z, the Buu Saga, and even in Dragon Ball Super,
Hmm.
by far in Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta is like a father.
Hmm.
Like going on vacation, like being with his
Hmm.
baby. When
Hmm.
Bola was being born, he was like, I don't care what happens to the earth. I'm not fighting in the tournament unless my daughter's born. Like, I'm not leaving. And Goku was like, yeah, but we have to fight. I left Chi Chi all those times when she was pregnant.
Shut up,
So,
Goku.
but again,
Yeah,
it's
you gotta show
it.
me that clip. I don't remember
You never seen
I do
that clip
remember.
from?
I do remember that. I
That's
do
what I'm
remember that.
saying. He's like, sure you can. You can leave her. I've left Chi Chi a bunch of times when she was
It
pregnant.
sounds familiar. I can't remember.
Horrible father. Boom.
So
I,
I have to say I give it to Vegeta, but again, Vegeta is older than Goku, and he doesn't have brain damage because he didn't fall on his head and bust his entire brain open as a child.
These some
But you,
excuses if I ever done seen them.
what do you say? What do you
I've
say, Galen?
I personally always
busted
felt that
it open.
I always thought Vegeta was the better father. I mean, just that he went to go fight Goku Black and lost to him like 20 times in that whole series as far as back and forth in the future for the sake of Trunks. And I mean, my one of my favorite scenes was the father-son Galagun,
Oh
the
yeah,
dubbed version. No, I'm sorry, subtitle version.
yeah.
My bad. Of father-son Galagun. But I always thought that he was the better father. I don't know, than Goku. But I think best father in the whole series, Krillin.
Now Gohan.
Go
I
on a
mean,
punk.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Go on a
but
punk.
wait, hold on. So we had this argument with a friend of ours, Mike and I. So I'm gonna put it out there. Who do you think is more of a punk, future Trunks or Gohan? And I hope he watches this too because he was making some wild accusations.
Oh, oh man, I'm thinking transformations now.
So like let's just say not in
More
terms
of
of
a punk.
transformations, let's just say like in mindset and like okay, because we know remember Gohan, right? Let's just say without being the in the future
Hmm.
Trump or future
Hmm.
Gohan. Let's just
Hmm.
say when Gohan was a kid, he was crying to his dad and everything like, Daddy, I don't want to fight. I don't want, he was afraid and whatnot. And then let's think about what he had to train and Piccolo and everybody else. And then let's think about future Trunks where he comes from a place that everyone died except Gohan and his mom. And then his mentor gets killed. And now he has to travel to the past in order to try to fix the issue so that way it doesn't have to be like that as well. Do you think that future Trunks is a punk because he was like, I guess, idolizing over his father or like crying because of like he wants to be next to his father or like get to know him?
Uh, I mean, there are definitely some moments in like Gohan's early history where it's just like I just want to go to the next episode because he
Yeah.
it seems like he's crying the whole time. But I think I think if you have to pick out, I mean, I would say out of the two, I would have to deem Trunks as the punk. Oh, and I only say that because we kind of watched Gohan's progression from
Hmm.
being like a little wimp to being like really goated and having some of the top moments. I don't know. I mean, if we saw more of like Trunks history, like we saw Gohan and had that
Hmm.
whole 1,000 billion episodes, like watching him progress, that might be a different story. But I think just because we see more of Gohan go from like 0 to 100, I'd
The,
say
the,
Gohan is kind of like top out of the two. But
I
I really
say
like Future Trunks.
I say Trunks is a bigger punk. There's one point. There's one point,
That's a rough thing to say, though. It's a rough thing to
and
say.
it is kind of hurts because he cut Frieza in half and did all some hype stuff. But in like Super, there's a point when he saw like Goku and Vegeta like get how powerful they were, and he's like, I don't have to train anymore. I could just rely on Goku and Dad. And so I think because of that, and like he sort of lost it, and then Gohan had to get it back in beast mode or whatever. I'm like, okay, kind of thinking that Gohan is or excuse me, Trunks is the bigger punk than Gohan at this point. That's just me, or me and Austin.
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel you. What do you got to say, Mike?
I was just trying to remember the conversation. I think the conversation was not current Gohan, like future. I think it was between future Gohan, like the Gohan that Trunks grew up with in the
Oh, the one with the lost arm when he lost his
Oh, I
arm.
mean, he went out like a
yeah,
G.
Yeah, he
yeah.
see, but here's the thing: like he went out like a G, but at the same time, is I think we're trying to argue the point of like if your whole entire family and friends and everyone you know died, and the only person you had to train you was Gohan,
Mm.
and then Gohan dies, and then you're left in the rain like to transform by yourself and leave to go to the past so that way you could save the future. Like, does that really mean that you're that much of a punk? Like, oh yeah, but I mean, he's not cold. I'm like, yo, he's cold. He killed Cell. I mean, he killed Frieza, and he
Yeah,
killed Frieza. He killed
and
King
his pops.
Cole, and he blew up. He blew up the grunts, and then he shows up and he was boxing with Cell. Like, even though he was kind of misguided in his training a little bit, he was still boxing with Cell, and he was the one of the only ones that was clear minded in the entire process. Like, let's just kill him now. Like, don't let him get stronger. And you got Vegeta like, silence. You're not
That's
gonna
because
disrespect
that's
me.
because that goes back to Goku because he's half Saiyan. He's not a
Say,
full blooded Saiyan.
but they still foolish. You know what I mean? Like we could like Piccolo was telling them, Krillin was telling them, everybody was telling them, the world was telling him.
Saiyans live to fight. no
Calling
Yeah,
one
matter
of these,
and they
calling
get
no
these guys
matter
no
like
the
a
no
punk
challenge.
though is
no,
rough,
no, no.
man.
They live to fight, but then they get washed up, and Vegeta's on the ground like, oh, I can't fight anymore. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He ain't
Like,
never he ain't never
Listen, there's got to be a point, I feel like, before they completely end Dragon Ball, if ever, that Vegeta's gonna close one out, man. He's gonna close one, as far as like the villain. There's too many times where I'm thinking he is, and then he
but
gets washed.
if you do you read the manga, the Dragon Ball Super manga?
Yes, I thought he was
Well,
gonna do it with Moro.
yeah, but he went kind of hard, and it took it. The problem was it. None of them did. The only person who actually beat him was I don't want to see. I'm not going to spoil it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, I'm
Thank
not going
you.
to spoil anything. But
Who did it?
you got to
Who beat
read that.
him?
But even in with that being said, the manga is a little different than even the anime of Dragon Ball
Hmm.
Super because
Hmm.
a lot of things happen completely different. Like
Hmm.
Master Roshi was the one who taught Goku
Ultra
Ultra
Instinct.
Instinct,
Hmm.
and it was
Hmm.
I saw that recently.
Gohan who beat what's her name
Kefla.
Kefla. It was not Goku. It was
It's a
Gohan
broadly
who
looking
beat
chick.
Kefla. Yeah. It was Gohan who beat Kefla. And it was
Because they wanted that parkour Kamehameha aesthetic. That was
yeah,
probably one of the most viral moments.
yeah, Toei was just like, yo, let's do it for the clicks and let's do it for the likes. They just didn't want to give Gohan his moment, but um
It's gone.
Oh, you know what? Breaking news, by the way. It is Goku Day. Um, hold on a second. Hold on a second. What happened? Goku Day is. Oh, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm literally on CBR right now.
no,
May
that's all
9th.
right.
Yeah.
May
Oh,
9th.
yeah. Yeah.
29th.
May
Yeah, May
9th.
Oh,
9th.
29th? Oh, May 9th.
May 9th.
May
Because
9th.
since in Japan the date is written in the order 5-9, and because 5 and 9 can be read as Go and Ku, the numbers combine to make Goku's Japanese kanji.
Yeah. So
That's
May
a
9th, which is this Thursday.
Right.
Austin pulled that up
Oh,
pretty quick.
Everybody gotta
cool.
put it up for the spirit bomb. You gotta put it up for the spirit bomb.
Give me the energy.
Yeah, yo. So I mean, honestly, this was I feel like there's so much more to talk about at the same time
Oh,
with Dragon Ball
for
Z.
No,
sure,
this
for
is
sure.
this is multi-part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is only part one
Part
that
one.
we're gonna have because there's so much more because we can get into pop culture, we can get into uh games. You know, we got to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
So are
about
we getting
Dragon
that
Ball.
new game? That new
Yeah,
game is crazy.
Sparking
yeah,
looks tight.
Yo, I might have to cop that because I used to be insane on Tenkaichi too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
I'll play with Galen and Austin. I ain't playing with Sean.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
Sean be
crazy.
cheating, y'all heard.
Sean be cheating heavy.
Cheating.
Got AI playing for him.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
what I heard,
crazy, yo.
bro.
What is that thing called again that we used to have with the Game Boy? You could plug it into your Game Boy
Uh,
and use it to get like hundreds of rare candies.
oh, like the
Game Shark.
Was it a game? Was it Game
action
Shark?
Game
replay?
Shark. Holy cow.
Yo, I used to plug that thing in. I'd be getting like 99 rare candies, steroiding up my starter Pokemon.
Oh,
Do be
that's what you
level.
did. So that's what you did in Fighters the other day. I
No,
got
that's
you.
how we was
Grinding.
together. We was together. How'd that happen?
Right,
But
man.
yo, this was really good. This is definitely part one. We're gonna segue to part two next time
Yeah,
and
have Mike back on.
maybe part three.
Yeah.
So before we end, we do have the
This battle.
death battle.
Are we
Thank you.
still doing the death battle?
Are we doing death battle?
Let's do it. You got a minute and 50 seconds, Turkey.
Well, who we got for death battle?
We said
You
what?
got
Probably.
Kirby versus Brawley.
Okay.
Forget what it was. What was it? Brawley versus Hulk?
Yeah, no, I think we said
Doomsday.
No, oh no,
Doomsday.
Doomsday versus Broly.
Doomsday
Right.
versus Broly. Doomsday has to win that because that's kind of his whole thing is just to die and get stronger and just keep living forever.
I
Oh, so he's a
I would
Saiyan too.
say
Yeah.
Broly because if you watch the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, he literally tore the dimension open
Oh,
fighting
that was so dope, bro.
Yeah, he did.
Gogeta. And they were
Oh,
fighting. That punch literally severed the dimension. Like
Time and space.
that was so dope.
Gogeta's like floating in an alternate reality because they broke reality. He's like, what happened? And then they punch again and it comes back.
Yeah,
Like they
And
punch.
like Egypt. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's
yo,
what I'm
I screamed when that junk happened.
Yeah.
That was so freaking dope. The entire fight. All right, I'll give it to Broly.
Yeah.
Good, good. That movie's so good, man.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yo, it's on
retcon.
Hulu.
It's on
It's on
Hulu.
Hulu.
I got the DVD, bro. It's a perfect
Oh, okay,
retcon,
never
man.
mind.
I had a
Damn.
cop, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to
Brawley.
watch that tonight.
I gotta do that, bro. I gotta lean on Brawley. And
That was
angry, and he
unbeatable.
keeps learning as he fights. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's Brawley for me.
Oh, last thought. Old Broly or new Broly? Who y'all got in that death battle?
Oh,
New
new all day.
I
New
say,
Broly.
but I mean, here's the thing: old Broly got beat. Then he came
belt
back,
fight.
whooped
That was,
Gohan's behind.
that was plot armor.
Yeah, I saw. He got back, got beat down, then came back again.
And turned into Bio Brawly.
Yeah, I
Bio
hated that
Brawl.
Bio Broly
I
nonsense.
forgot about.
Swamp Thing with a Kamehameha.
I hated that. I hated that nonsense. But
I hate
Oh
this
man,
timer. For
the
everyone that's
best.
watching, yo, forgive me
Uh,
for this crappy timer, yo.
yeah, it's all right. I don't think. I mean, it's
There
all
we
No,
go.
good.
Now
But
we went.
it's all love.
does anybody remember the second Dragon Broly movie with the old Broly when Gohan, Goten, and Goku
Videl.
Father, son,
hit him with
Kamehamehas.
the father son Kamehameha?
Yeah, because they found him in a. He was no. The tank was Bio Brawly. I remember that one though. The second one was Return of Brawly or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Second coming.
he fought
Second
Gohan.
coming. Second
yeah,
coming.
because they were trying to get the Dragon Balls, and then Broly attacked, and Gohan was trying to hold him off, getting
And then
minked up.
Goten wished he was
Almost
dead.
took
And
his
then
arms off.
Goten was like, "I wish Daddy was here." And then Goku shows up. They hit him with the Kamehameha. Oh, I gotta watch that now. I
And
gotta.
somehow Videl didn't die in that movie.
No, Videl should have been knocked out. She tried to kick Broly. He literally took her and smacked. I'm like, Videl, get out. Why are you here? Like,
You
I can't stand that. Oh my goodness. Why is she even
Oh
here?
man.
That's like
equality
Krillin
was
trying to
Sean.
run.
Equality, bro. She had an equal opportunity fight.
And didn't happen. Dang.
Dad.
Dang.
And it didn't happen.
Yo,
Dang.
no. Okay, we'll end this soon, but I just want to say real quick, if you play Dragon Ball Fighters and you pick Videl, all of her specials
Or
aren't
assists.
even her. It's
It's
Gohan
great
helping
Saiyan
her.
man. It's an assist. Mhm.
It's not even fair,
It's an assist, bro.
but it's
Mhm.
not
This fighter's
fair.
good.
It wasn't
Fighters
fair what
good.
you did the other day.
Okay,
Yeah,
at that point, y'all,
I think we may have to have an episode where just I have an idea.
Fighters.
Don't
Is
don't
Fighters actually good? Fighters
don't
is
tell
good?
him yet.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Like a first
Yeah?
like a first to 5, first to 10, Sean versus Mike, and we just stream it as an episode. And then me and Austin on commentary somehow.
Ooh.
What is
Like
it? They fight and you watch?
You playing Dragon Ball Fighters?
They first to 5.
No, we
As an
gotta
episode.
rent. No. If we're gonna do this, we gotta fight for real. We gotta rent a.
Oh my God.
We gotta rent a boxing gym. We gotta dress. We gotta
Fighters
train
good,
6
huh?
months.
Go in my garage.
It's like hard to find like a good. I feel like a good Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah, that's true.
I recommend that one. That one's not bad.
Yeah, because
Dragon Ball
I got Kakarot and I was like, and then they got these other ones where you're not even playing as anybody important. You're just running from them.
Xenoverse.
Yeah, Xenoverse is kind of mid.
The Xenoverse ones, I got those, and I was just like, I don't like this junk.
Yeah.
Nah, Fighters is straight boxing. It's like kind of reminds me of Marvel versus Capcom a little bit.
Oh, that's the cartoon style looking one, not cartoon,
Yeah.
but like animated style one. Okay, word.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I need
So
that
listen,
new one, bro.
I mean,
Yeah,
we had a
so-
good time. This is episode 1. This is my first time, leading this forward, so don't judge me too bad. I got to give it back to Galen next time though, because I feel like he's the best moderator.
Meh.
So we appreciate it. But y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This was only part 1. We're gonna have part 2 coming up hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
We appreciate Mike for showing up for part 1. He's gonna be back for the other parts. We can argue some more about video games and also how Dragon Ball Z influenced pop culture.
Yes, he is.
So, guys, listen, I think it was episode 30 something. I don't remember. 172.
56.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's it, y'all. Have a great night, day, wherever you're at, and be easy.
Later, guys. Later.